hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah. Ooh.
What time it is?
Ah! Turn the fucking jets on! Turn the fucking jets on!
Arm the laser!
Arming the laser! Begin laser ignition!
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know. Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings. Big hopes and dreams as we cover cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the par, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the theme song. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey, do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, that's my favorite show.
How are we doing on a Friday night?
Deuce and Mo.
There's no way that we have fog next season, right?
When it comes to the
fog
Kings.
lives on forever.
Oh.
How we doing, Night Chat?
What up, Deuce?
Oh,
Hey, Morgan.
Hi.
I think we're feeling good tonight.
Feeling great.
Hey,
Let's go, Kane.
it's not going to feel like you clinch a spot every night.
Deuce.
No.
But when you take care of business,
Fucking business.
Thank you, Jordy.
couldn't really hear that well. But let me tell you, when you take care of business on the road, you come back home, oh, it feels too sweet.
Fucking business trip.
Yeah, damn right. And then you get on the plane.
Turn the fucking jet zone. Turn the fucking
And then
jet zone.
tonight, the Kings will land in Sacramento around 11:50-ish, and you could be there.
Are you going to be there?
I got to be honest, guys. I think Deuce Mason may make an appearance tonight.
Really?
You know, and it's not. I just want to capture some content and be there for the moment. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah, don't-
feel the moment.
Don't lie. You'd have a little bit of FOMO if you weren't there.
100%, I would. Kevin Fippen put this out. The Kings' flight's expected to arrive around 11:55. He recommends being there by 11:30 tonight. That's at Modern Aviation Private Jet Center, 5885 Flight Line Circle in Sacramento. Park in the parking lot. You know, maybe tough to see the players because they could just get in their cars and leave. But I guarantee you, if you're there, they will greet you.
Why don't you look up the directions and see how far is that?
It's not. It's by the airport.
Oh, it really is just right next
I've been
to the
there.
airport?
I've been there before.
Oh, I'm sorry. You've been there. Why? In a private jet?
No, not in the private jet.
Okay.
It was I was doing coverage for like a draft pick or something.
Oh, so cool. Okay, so it's super close.
20 minutes from where we're doing this, man.
Yeah,
20 minutes
okay.
away. So people are going, oh, wait, is that something you normally do? Look, man, last time they've done this before when the Kings have made the playoffs. You go home and greet them, welcome them back, say, man, job well done. It's kind of a cool thing coming back home after a long road trip. I think you're going to see a good amount of fans be out there tonight, late on a Friday night.
I kind of have FOMO.
You're more than welcome.
I know.
And look, you don't have to do anything. It's just you just enjoy the moment and be like, wow, this is something like to see these fans be happy and greet them. And then you come back home and you go, night, night, and then you're off tomorrow.
I know. Well, and that's the funny part because, like, we're off tomorrow. And I was like, oh, I could take a long shower tonight and do a whole bunch of skincare and healthy things in my hair. That just sounded so delightful at midnight.
I don't give 4 fucks.
Okay.
That was Jordy, not me saying it.
Okay.
Night chat. Appreciate you guys being here. It might be a little more of a condensed version. As you can tell, my voice is on its last legs at this point.
His last legs.
Last legs.
Yeah, it is. I mean, for a lot of reasons, though. I mean, calling a G League playoff game, that will get your throat.
Yeah, and Kings Reddit, someone said I was yelling the whole broadcast. I just felt
One
like there's a lot of
person, dude.
exciting. Yeah, but it got far too many ups. There were 10 ups on it, which tells you people agreed with that.
Okay, do you understand if you ever start calling games in the NBA, there's going to be lots of people that don't like you, and there's going to be a lot of people that like you, no matter how good or how bad you are.
I understand. Yes, I'm more than aware of that. I just felt so good after that game.
Yeah.
That when I saw that, I'm like, oh, man, I felt really good. I felt good about that moment.
I mean, I had a lot of mistakes in that game, so.
Yeah.
Nobody pointed them out because they probably felt bad.
Steven, I'm a one-timer night chat. Listen to you guys in the middle of the day, but my boy said listen to you guys in night chat, and I'm loving it already. Dude, hell yeah.
Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, we're going to be along a lot during the postseason run on this channel, so you do not want to miss it. We're going to have a lot of fun during this Kings playoff run. How cool is it to say that, dude?
it's
Kings playoff run? Woo!
So cool. So cool. It was so funny. At one point during the broadcast, Mark Jones was like saying something like, we have 12 more minutes of basketball. And he's like, wait, no, it's halftime, actually. Okay, I'm already ready for the postseason. You know, just like people are there. People are there.
They are. And I do want to apologize, too. There were some super chats I missed last time, but we got a lot of them.
Dude.
And for all those who sent super chats the other night when we were live, thank you so much. And if I don't mention your name, hit me up in like Twitter or an email and I will mention it next time. Nathan just donated a couple of minutes ago saying, thank you for making me laugh over the years. Dude, thank you. I appreciate that, Nathan. Thank you for the support.
Yeah, dude. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready? Freddie?
Okay, there's a compliment in there about me. Okay,
Oh.
we're good. So one person did like me.
You
Perfect.
killed it on the call last night. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Oh, we're good now. Validation.
Stop the chat. Run to the airport. No, man. Airport. They're in Atlanta like 11:50. You got time to hang out with us and then go to the airport.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate you guys being here. Quick roll call. Appreciate you guys on a Friday night. Scotty C, Jesse 916. What's up, Mike D? Thank you so much, Joey and Jake, AA, not KJJK, and Mandy. Hey, Zeus is here with Nathan. Hey, what's up, Christian? Steven, thank you. What's up, Tyler and Melissa? Thank you so much, Tony and Kevin. What is up, Todd Packer? Alex Quinn. What's up, Brad? Who says Caitlin Clark is my dog of the game? Yeah, dude, monster game tonight.
Amazing.
39 points. Had a little double screen action going because of her. Hey, Ricky, Jessica, thank you so much for being here. Open Mic MC, Delivery Joe, Braden, Rue, Beam, Supreme, and Tony C. Gonzalez, James X. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. We had a good time. What's up, Christine? Thanks for being here, King Gibby. Let's get it started. Deuce and Mo coming down in 3, 2.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Hey, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast. Recording this on a Friday night after the Kings take care of business in Portland. And they hit a couple of high marks on the season. They're now a season best. 17 games over 500, Morgan Reagan.
Ooh.
They have tied the franchise record for second most road wins in a season. And they shot over 61% tonight. The best mark they've had this season and the highest field goal percentage in a game since 2016.
Oh.
Kings go to Portland, win 2, head back to Sacramento where they're going to be greeted by Kings fans tonight and a raucous crowd at G1C Sunday afternoon. They beat the Blazers 138-114. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. How you doing, Mo?
I'm doing great. I'm excited they're on their way back home. I'm excited that people are going to be at the airport greeting them late tonight. And I'm just really, really excited about everything that's happening with the Kings going into the postseason.
47-30. This team's goal is, hey, let's get to 50. They're going to have a good chance to do it, right? I mean, there's still time left in this season to get 50 wins in a season. That's big time stuff for this group.
Yeah, it's huge. And I think, you know, when you look at a game like tonight, these are the games you're going to want to have to get through to make sure not only you get to that 50 mark, but we've talked about this so many times, building good habits. I don't care. I don't care if it's down the bench or if it's your starting unit, because even if it's down the bench and you're not getting to that rotation, you're not rotating those guys in, you're still going to want them to be playing at their top levels. So you know you're practicing at your highest of high levels.
A lot of people are mentioning dogs of the day in the chat, and I appreciate it. I feel like maybe I should be a candidate. Are you hearing my voice right now?
You're good, bro. You're
I'm
good.
battling like a
No,
dog.
you're
would.
good.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't really talk about it. I'm just,
No.
I knew it was drawing attention. I don't want people to be distracted by
Yeah.
it. I gotta be honest, too.
What?
I do think it sounds kind of sexy.
No. So again,
Hey.
you've been
Oh, no,
wrong
no. Watch,
about the
watch.
last two things.
I'll see if the chat thinks.
Okay.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Deuce. Let's see. I bet
How
you the
about
chat
you-
pops like, oh, that was
Why don't you say like a pickup line or something?
I just did.
Ugh. We're all cringing right now. We are all disgusted.
Hi, Deuce Mason.
What? Douche? Is that your name?
People are digging it. The
Get
people
the
are
shit
popping.
outta here. No.
Appreciate you guys so much. The Kings are taking on a Blazers team that, of course, was extremely short-handed. I found it interesting, Morgan, that they just signed Skylar Mays to a 10-day contract the other day. We know Skylar Mays because we called his game last Friday when he was in Sacramento playing the Stockton Kings. He was on Mexico City.
Mm-hmm.
He got signed to a 10-day, and he played 30 minutes tonight. John Butler, another player that was with the Stockton Kings a few weeks back, ended up coming off the bench in this game and playing 16 minutes. He's playing about 20 minutes when he was with Stockton. My point is, you're seeing players who were just in the G League playing minutes, playing heavy minutes at the end of the year. It's a game you expect the Kings to take care of business, and they did. It did get a little close.
Yeah.
They made a run in the fourth quarter. It was 110-103, and I'm like, do not make this cute and close.
What are we doing?
They end up taking care of business, winning 138-114. What jumped out to you in this game?
You know, I have a few things, but I think when you just look at the score and you look at it being the Portland Trailblazers without all their guys, it's a G League squad. You just go, why couldn't they just do it from the start? Why couldn't they? I don't care who's out there on the floor, especially when it's G Leaguers, even if you're obviously the better team, those guys have something different to fight for, right? I mean, we see that in all these G League games that we call. Like, it's a showcase every single night, these guys and what they're trying to do. And so they're going to work at a different level. And that's what they did tonight, all the way up until that fourth quarter, until the Kings were finally able to really take it away. And I think, too, like De'Aaron Fox, for example, wasn't being overly aggressive, like trying to be the guy throughout this game. And that's okay too, because it allowed other people, the rest of the squad, to still get things done.
They had 4 players score 20 or more, and the 138 points, Morgan, it's the 20th time this season they've scored over 130 in a game. The Kings' record in those games, 18-2.
Ooh.
So, I mean, just tremendous scoring. And considering, it was 110-103 with like 7 to play, a pretty nice response by the Sacramento Kings in this one. And that's what you do against a team that's severely undermanned. I'm glad they closed the right way. I'm glad they finished strong, got the bench guys some time at the end of the game. None of their guys played crazy heavy minutes the last couple of games. Sabonis tonight ends up playing 33, Fox at 27. The next highest guy was Harrison Barnes at 30. So that's great.
Yeah.
That's great, especially when you're closing the season on 5 games in 7 nights. So not an easy stretch at all before the playoffs, but you limited those minutes by taking care of business the last couple of games.
And we talked about this earlier. We really want to make sure you want to make sure you're still seeing guys play, right? Like, you don't want to just be, all right, we're going to sit them out to the postseason, because that doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help the team. It doesn't help trying to build those good habits. It doesn't help with the conditioning for these guys to have long-lasting games throughout the postseason. And so, yeah, I like what we saw in a game like tonight. It's the type of thing that you're going to want to see against San Antonio Spurs on Sunday. And there's a few guys with the Kings that really stood out to me as well.
Who's the guy that stood out to you most?
My rookie, Keegan.
Keegan Murray. How about him throwing down some dunks tonight?
Created a shot against 2 defenders, wanted a foul, didn't get either a bucket or a foul. Kings are 5-on-4. Here coming with a hammer off the dribble, Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray. Thank you.
How
Wait,
cute.
that was so cute. Why couldn't you do that with me when I just did that with? I was like,
G-Man
Keegan.
and Jason Ross. Maybe I didn't want to spoil it.
Oh, really?
No, it wasn't even intentional, Morgan. I'm just, I'm not firing on all cylinders, and it's okay.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, when you're transparent
Yeah.
like that, I'm like, oh, it's okay.
Thank
Okay.
you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Keegan tonight, we could talk about his 20 points. He did it on 8 of 14 shooting, 4 of 7 from 3. I thought tonight it was Keegan Murray's defense. He won the defensive player of the game chain after the game, but man, it was deflections. It was just bodying guys.
Verticality.
Oh, and blocking shots. He had 3 blocks tonight. Love what I'm seeing from the Rook. You talk about building those good habits. Hey, Keegan, we're going to need you to be able to guard some guys come playoff time. There's going to be some tough matchups, some matchups that aren't good for you. But in this game, these are the games that can build your confidence when you're going up against an undermanned team, a team that doesn't have a lot of experience together.
Yes.
This is where you need to shine. He shined.
Yes, that's exactly it. Career high 3 blocks for Keegan Murray. And when it's noticeable like that, you're saying, it stood out that Keegan Murray's defense was really engaged. It was locking down guys. It was staying disciplined with keeping his hands straight up. And look what it led to. Obviously, playing the caliber guys you're playing. We understand that. We've prefaced that a million times. But you still have seen teams and players in this league feel like, okay, then it ends up being a trap game, or they don't have the same type of energy in playing up like they're going to play against the Milwaukee Bucks. Tonight, the Kings did a great job really pulling away there late in the fourth, too.
You like the Kings players on the bench, like De'Aaron Fox and Kevin Herter, give Keegan some shit for the dunks, like he should have done something a little more flashy. That's pretty funny.
It's cute. It's all cute. They all like each other so much.
Let's hear from Keegan after the game.
Hit shots, and I feel like the way we ended the game is how we need to play for the whole 40. I just feel like if a lot of guys buy into that in our locker room, and we all know we can do that, we'll have success.
4 guys scored 20 tonight. So what does that say about kind of the balance of this team, and how important is that to what you guys are doing?
Yeah, I feel like our offense is flowing right now. I feel like we're getting the ball to the right guy at the right time, and every guy's making plays. So we all have 100% confidence on that on the floor, and it's really fun to watch.
Was that your second time putting the chain?
Yeah, I won in December, so it was a long time coming for sure.
How do you feel like your games transition defensively over the course of the season?
Yeah, I think I'm reading the ball well. Off the ball, I feel like I've made a lot of strides, chasing guys and reading passing lanes and things like that. I feel like in ISO situations, it's an area of growth I need to get better at, and I'm willing to get better at it. So I feel like the more experience I have doing that, I feel like my ceiling at that end is pretty high. So.
How much are you getting pushed on that end of the floor? Like, what is Mike asking of you?
Yeah, I don't think anyone asks me anything about offense. It's pretty much just all defense, and every coach is trying to work with me and putting tidbits in my ear just about how I can get better. I always talk to Doug Christie, Dutch, when I come out of the games to see things I can work on, things that they see on the floor. So it's been good for me, and I feel like I've made growth in that department.
Where do you feel like you're making the biggest strides in that area?
I think it's just passing lanes. In college, I was good in passing lanes, and in the NBA, it's just kind of figuring that out. When I can get steals, when I can gamble, and things like that, and that's led to some open fast breaks for me, and just willing to get better at that, and also keep my chest in front of the ball.
I just love how much he wants to get better and acknowledges he has to get better defensively, and he wants to soak it in. And you're seeing progress from him. Sometimes people hear that and go, no, but he had a game where he had some mistakes. Like, no, it's not always linear. Like, you're going to have it go up and down, but you want to see more growth. You want him to be doing things now that he wasn't doing a couple of months ago, and you're seeing that. And in a game like this, you really want to see how it's coming together for him. And I love what I'm seeing. I love what I'm hearing too.
Yeah. I mean, and that's from your rookie, right? I mean, that's what makes it so exciting, is that not only are we seeing that progress, are we seeing that growth from the rookie, but you're hearing him talk about how he craves more. And when you have someone, I mean, Davion Mitchell was and is that same way. Every time that you hear how he wants to always be out on the floor, how he always wants to gain more knowledge. But now you really have a great crew, not only with teammates, but coaching staff as well, to help make these guys better and develop them the right way. It's just the perfect situation.
Appreciate Ian for the super chat of $5. Says there's something downright Klay Thompson-ish about Keegan's 3-and-D. One can hope. First-time sub / watcher, 25-year fan.
Wow.
With 16 years of pain.
Appreciate that you're here. Thank you.
Yeah, where have you been?
Oh, there it goes.
Where have you been? This is your first time here tonight, huh? Okay.
And you appreciate it.
I really appreciate it, actually. Also, shout out to Peyton. He was someone that donated last time that I did not shout out. He donated $5 tonight, saying got interviewed by KCRA3 about the Kings today. Would have been one of the greatest moments in TV history, but they cut my Deuce and Mo shout out.
Oh, well,
That's
yeah,
interesting.
screw them because we were giving them shout outs all day.
I give them so much love today on
We
our
did
show.
like a 5-minute segment
I was going
them.
over top KCRA talent.
Worst
Brittany
talent
Hope.
ever. All of them.
No,
Kidding.
we love them over there. Lisa
They're-
Gonzalez, shout out.
They're so good.
No, but in all seriousness, yeah, Keegan's just one of those guys you love because he works his ass off and he's upset. You could tell he's got an obsession about the game.
Yeah.
And for a guy his size with his shooting,
That's
we talk
it.
about that, but you're starting to see more flashes offensively. Still needs to go to the hoop a little stronger,
Sure.
but having a couple of dunks tonight, I'm like, awesome. He had that one in the first quarter, a lob high up in the air to Sabonis, who got it, finished it. I'm like, these are things we're starting to see. He's running that nice 2-man game late in the game with Alex Len.
Yeah.
That was superb. And then what you're seeing defensively for a guy his size, you're going, okay, if he's got the shooting coupled with the ability to put the ball on the floor and get better in that area, work on the ball handling, he's got the IQ, and he could be good defensively, then the Kings have an absolute stud, and they're going to be set up for years to come.
And how fun has that been defensively, right? I think we saw in the beginning of the season, first couple of games, maybe even it was against Portland at the time when Dame was playing. It was like, oh shit, he can even switch on to a guard. Okay,
Yeah.
not too bad, not too bad. Then you saw the moments when people, the vets, would try to attack the rookie, and you're like, okay, still a rook. And the way that he has grown on that side of the floor, it just gives me so much hope of what this defense can eventually be. But it's just not there yet. Now, if you can just see it on a consistent level from each individual, you got something.
Yeah, but, there's some times when you're seeing that lineup when he throws, Mike Brown puts Keegan and Kessler out there.
Oh,
Kessler
arms.
had some great moments tonight defensively.
Yes. And that's, well, think about how many times we've talked about this team going up against lengthier teams and how that's a tough matchup for the Sacramento Kings. And, we need some long guys. Why do you think everyone was like, get Vanderbilt at the trade deadline?
Yeah.
He's got those long arms. He's got that defensive mentality. But then, who's there? $2 million in Kessler Edwards to just bring his wingspan and his long arms. And it's been great to see what he's capable of because you can tell he likes retaining the knowledge that he's getting from this coaching staff as well.
Another guy who, flies under the radar. Again, trade deadline comes and goes. No one's talking about Kessler Edwards. If you're talking about him, you're going, that's all Monty McNair did, And they take a chance on a guy who obviously has some defensive talent. He's got some size. Oh, and you got, like you mentioned, they got paid to take him. It's like, yeah, let's take a look at this guy. And now all of a sudden, he's in the rotation on a team that is trying to
win 50
games, clinch a division title. Like,
oh my God.
He's playing minutes. And it was good to see him knock down some threes, but he does some really nice things defensively. He finished with 10 points tonight. He had a couple of steals. He also had a block shot for the Kings on 4 of 7 shooting. He knocked down 2 threes as well, 2 of 4, and he's confident. If he can start knocking down that shot, then it's like, you're like a lock for the rotation. Because
absolutely.
you do enough. He's got the size, the strength, the ability to go in there and rebound, defend. He's active with deflections. He starts knocking down the 3, then you're the perfect NBA guy.
Yeah.
Exactly what this team needs.
And exactly what this team needs, the modern day NBA body, but also on top of that, another young guy. And that's been my favorite thing about this, Deuce. You have the right culture in place to develop guys the right way. Like, that's my favorite thing about seeing some of these young guys. And it's like, okay, you're in a good place to grow.
You made a point a few weeks back when we were talking about Kessler Edwards where you were just like, this is the type of move that a GM makes when they have trust in what they're building as a system and a culture. You find the right guys because you believe in the staff that you have and the IQ of these players that they could fit in and help the team.
Yes, it's the staff, the executives having they have more of a basketball mind, right? They have a feel for the game and the understanding of not only do you need obviously good people on your team, of course you want that, but it's not just about talent either. It's how do you find that in between the smart players, the players that crave the knowledge, the players that have something there, but they just need to be in the right situation to take something out of them. And I think this executive staff has done a fantastic job of finding those guys and not just following the narrative, right? You hear those names out there. I mean, a lot of those names at the trade deadline, and you're just like, you saw how many people were pissed that the Kings didn't do more. And I think for you and I, not pissed at all, but I was
concerned. I was 100% concerned.
I had fear after. I was like, oh God, is everyone going to be better than us? And it's like, let the basketball minds do the work.
Another guy that we have seen recently now, who is seemingly in the rotation.
Yeah.
Alex Len. And I don't know if it's just a matchup thing. I don't know if it's a situation where it's like, hey, Metu's in the doghouse right now and Len's doing enough out there. I think we've seen some nice signs from Alex Len. You know, a big body who can deter some shots at the rim, who can block a shot, good size. I'm fine with him getting some run here.
Oh, same. I'm always just so curious as to why now? Why now?
Yeah, why did it take this long
That's
to
all.
give him a look? Because these problems at the back of 5 spot have been a season-long thing. Yeah.
Exactly. No, and I'm not mad. I'm not happy about it. I'm good, but I'm just my basketball mind is just has lots of questions as to why now, but happy that he's getting in there, and whether it's against the Blazers or whoever else, I'm glad that he's showing up and just being and doing what he needs to do.
Let's give some love to the people watching us live right now. It is a Friday night. The Kings played a game that, let's be honest, for some after the other night, it's like an emotional hangover from what went down, clinching a playoff spot. You're watching tonight going, kind of a boring game because your team just took care of business, but you are here, 400 plus alive on a Friday.
Give me a hell yeah.
We also need to give you guys love for this.
What?
You helped us last night, chat. Go over 11,000 subs on YouTube. Appreciate it. Seriously, that means so much. It's fun to see this community continue to grow. You guys are a part of it. It's a good time to be a part of it. So if you have not hit the thumbs up, you have not subscribed, make sure to do it. The chase is on now for 12,000 subs. We're going to keep this moving.
We were trying to reach 10,000 this year. And then once we reach 10, it's just so cool seeing how fast this channel is growing. So thank you for spreading the love. We appreciate you so damn much.
And our goal is to make this a huge Kings and NBA channel where we're talking after every game and doing a ton of NBA content, and want to grow this, want to keep growing it. We feel like this community can be a fun place to come after games, talk about games, be upset, laugh, cry.
Talk hoops.
Yeah,
Talk hoops all day, every day.
So I appreciate you guys being here. Jets in the chat says people are hyped for the playoffs, but I feel like people aren't as hyped as they should be. I disagree. I think people are pretty hyped. I think the other thing, too, that makes it weird is that the Kings clinched so early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They didn't like limp in, hey, final week. Oh, you clinch. Oh, all right, playoffs start in 2 days. It's like, oh, they clinched. The playoffs don't start literally until April 15th. And I don't know if it's for sure yet, but I think the Kings are likely to play on April 15th.
Wow.
That Saturday, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
The 15th and 17th.
Okay, funny thing, too,
could be wrong.
because one of my best friends who doesn't know almost anything about basketball, she texts me like, let's effing go. Good luck tonight. She thought it was the playoffs starting tonight. And so she was getting so amped up for the Blazers and the Kings, and she didn't understand what clinching meant or anything.
No, actually, it's not the
And she was like, happy clinch week, and she still didn't get it. And so I had to explain it's securing a playoff spot for April 15th.
Here's what she knows. It's an important day.
Ayo.
It's an important time in Kingsland. Getting some more comments. Got one that this is smart for Coach Brown to play Len and have more options in the playoffs. No, I agree with you because you want to have a good idea of what you have going into the playoffs. And if Alex Len is showing he can give you something, you go with it.
I mean, I always go back to the Memphis Grizzlies and every team. Well, teams playing Steven Adams off the floor, as Steven Adams was in the starting lineup all year long. And they were so good with that lineup, and just having to switch that up, you just never know what's going to be thrown at you. And so you have to be ready for anything in the postseason.
The Kings had 38 assists tonight on 54 made baskets.
Jesus.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff. I thought Malik Monk's comments post-game were pretty cool, too. He was on with Mark and Katie immediately after the game, talking about what it meant to make the playoffs.
Tell us what it means for you to be on a squad now that's going to be in the playoffs, and what it means for you and your journey so far up to this point.
Yeah, man. I've been wanting this my whole 6 years, and I'm thankful I did it with Sacramento, changing the culture, doing it with my best friend Fox. Yeah, man, this is amazing. Everybody want to play basketball to play in the playoffs, so I'm just thankful to be a part of this.
Cute. I love it.
My best friend Fox.
I just love the vibes with the team, man. They like each other. They're having fun playing the game. They're all together. It's great.
I know you
it's
didn't.
Perfect.
I know you didn't play it, but Keegan also talked about that and just talked about how, it doesn't even feel like they work because they just love being together.
Yeah, here's exactly what Keegan had to say after that win. He had a lot to say, including this.
And kind of the togetherness that this group has right now, and does it feel like it's just getting stronger every day? I think so. I mean, just every day I feel blessed to go and play with these guys. I mean, some people call it work, but I feel like none of us think of it as work. We all just love being together, love being in the gym together and things like that. And it's really fun to be there every single day with them.
Ooh, when it doesn't feel like work, man.
That's the best.
Those are goals
for
in life.
everyone.
Yeah, literally everyone.
And when you hear that with these guys that work their ass off every day because Mike Brown doesn't really give them a day off. It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
That's the environment you want to be in.
I love it. It's makes me happy hearing stuff like that. And when you watch them, you see the joy they play with, especially offensively. You see what they do out there. And so for it to be off the floor, those guys like each other. They all hold each other accountable. It's just great to see.
Well,
it's really cool to see.
I mean, you talk about playing with joy out there. When they have those beautiful, precise two-man game passes, the bounce passes that Sabonis will have to someone moving without the basketball. It didn't matter if it was Kessler Edwards, if it was Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, whoever it was that was just like cutting through the paint. It's when you get rewarded by your teammate with that. You know how frustrating it is when a teammate can't get a pass there because they just don't have the ability to do so. Sabonis is so dead on with his passing. And when you are just like pushing through one more step to be quicker and get that backdoor cut and you're getting rewarded for it, it feels so good. There's nothing else like that. The connection that builds is just something else. And that's what I'm like thinking about it right now. And I just think that's one of the most fun things you can do on the basketball floor.
Like that, the Monk Sabonis pick and roll. It's kind of like the podcast. You're Monk, I'm Sabonis, right?
Okay.
Thank you.
I would say, I mean, like if it was actually on the floor, I would be a better passer. I think you'd be a better cutter. Okay. You do set a really good screen. We're really good in the pick and roll. Truthfully.
Yeah.
I mean, I can lob, I can drop dimes to you all day.
A couple people in the chat wondering about Morgan. When are you getting the tattoo? For those who missed it before the season, Morgan said, hey, look, if the Kings make the playoffs, if they get a playoff series, I will get a tattoo of this drawing that I did at Media Day. The drawing was supposed to be a picture of one of the Kings logos, the alternate logo, like the Slamson version, I guess.
So we were asked to draw the logos.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, show us the lion head logo that you drew. And I drew it. It's hilarious because it's so awful. And they said something like, do you think the Kings are going to make the playoffs? And I was like, if the Kings make the playoffs this season, I'll get this tattooed on my body somewhere, right? Like just said it because I was so confident that they'd be in the play-in conversation and not making the playoffs like this. And then as we got closer and closer, it was like, oh my God, I'm getting this tattoo. So yeah, I have a tattoo artist. And I'll be getting it sometime late in April. I was gonna get it in the summer, but then NBC wants to like shoot it and stuff.
Of course they do. You know, you did it. And I'm just going to put a picture on the screen of what it's going to look like. There's some people out there who actually want to get this tattoo as well.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I debated it. I debated maybe I should get it. But here's the problem.
What?
I don't like the feeling of tattoos. They hurt.
It's not,
I have one and I about cried.
It's
the
not going to
entire
hurt,
time.
dude. It's going to be little. It's just going to be on my wrist next to my other tattoo. And dude, what it represents though, like
that's what I'm saying. It's
so
actually really
cool.
cool. It's one of those, like last year, I bet, hey, if the Kings don't win 37 games, I'll shave my head. You put a tattoo on the line, and it's when the Kings end a playoff drought.
Thank you. In this fashion.
In this fashion, a special season. Like, what better way to remember this season than that?
I know. No, and I feel that. And obviously just being the diehard that I am, it's cool too that it's like not just a Kings logo. You know how like people
that's what I'm
always
saying.
just get logo the team. It's my drawing.
It's
It's
a
my
story.
artwork.
There's
Yes.
a story behind it.
Yeah. So
it's kind of a cute little thing.
it is. And if anyone else really does want it, I will have it and can always, I'm not kidding. There's been so many people that have reached out about like, I kind of want the same thing. And I'm like,
Or we should have it done where, is there a company that makes like the fake tattoos that people could plaster on in that way? You know, so
dude.
kids could have it on.
I'm sure I could find that
That's
too.
a good gimmick.
Yeah. No. So,
So April 27th, you said?
I think it will be April 27th. It just depends on where the Kings are.
Okay.
I know, and everything else. We wanted it to be earlier, but hey, tattoo artist in Sacramento, she's so amazing. She's booked up, and
she can't squeeze you in. I mean, April 27th.
She's got clients, dude.
15, 17, 20.
And she's dainty and precise.
You know what? I'm putting good energy out there. That's going to be right around the start of the second round for the Kings. So.
Yeah.
Give me a hell yeah.
Temp tats, you guys want temp? Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Have some temp tats to give away.
It was funny too, because at first I was like, when this was all happening, I was like, should I just get like white ink, you know, just because, and not so it wouldn't show, but I'm more like, I've always wanted a white ink tattoo. But then I was like, I don't want people to get mad if it's not what they expected it to be.
Yeah, I felt that last year when people wanted me to literally like shave my head all the way down.
Yeah.
It's like, I
and
shaved
it's
my
like, you
head.
never
What do you mean?
said that you were going to do that. Yes.
Also, I know we're some people are listening to this later and they're going to go, okay, what? But there's a lot of Kings fans who are going to greet the players at the airport. There's literally a fan out there right now hanging out waiting. And the players have been asked about it tonight. I know Jason Anderson from the Bee sharing some of the players talking about it. Malik Monk was asked about the fans waiting to greet the Kings at the airport. He said, I heard that. Mike just told us. That's crazy. I never experienced anything like that. Looking forward to seeing it. Sabonis says, that's really cool. That's awesome. They're invested. We're here because of them, so we're definitely going to show them love.
Oh, so cute.
That's really cool.
It is cool.
It is special, and I cannot wait for Sunday. We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
Any other final thoughts on this game before I run down some of the numbers?
Run down the number. I guess just their efficiency with their shooting and their assist numbers. Just love.
Yeah, they shot a season best 61.4% from the field. That's the highest in the game since March 2016. They were 19 of 39 from three. Malik Monk hit 4 of 7. He had 20 points, one of 4 scorers with 20 points in the game tonight for Sacramento. Kevin Huerter also added 4 of 8 from downtown. He had 14 points. De'Aaron Fox close to a triple-double tonight. 20 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds for Fox. Sabonis, of course, he's near a triple-double every night. He had 20 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. I should mention that Fox did those numbers on 8 of 11 shooting, too. Keegan Murray, 20 points, 8 of 14. He was 4 of 7 from 3. He also had 3 blocks in the game. And the Kings had 38 assists on 54 makes and 13 turnovers in the game. Also, before we move on, Shaedon Sharpe looks like he's going to be a really talented player. Freak athlete. To see him get this opportunity to just kind of go out there and do his thing. Man, such an athlete.
Dude.
Incredible athlete.
Can fly. And the fact that he's so young and it's it can be under control like it is. It's, I mean, it makes sense why they were so high on him.
Kurt with the most random super chat. Donating $10. Monday, I'm teaching a class on labor and globalization. Could open with how labor and the global economy have changed since the Kings last made it playoffs. No iPhones, no Uber, couple of recessions. That's so true. A lot has changed.
I love
that's
it.
interesting. Okay, I like how you tied it all together. At first, I thought it was a spam message. That's a turnover on me, Kurt. Thank you for the super chat.
Why would he super chat $10 just to have like a spam
I guess
message?
you've never been on the internet before.
Well, Kurt, appreciate you and the support. Thank you.
Yeah, so just a great night for the Kings. You take care of business against a team that is, you know, thinking about the offseason with guys who are just trying to prove themselves and get some run. That's what you do. And then the Kings come home on Sunday. Before we talk about that, we should mention that tonight's Night Chat presented by our buddy Sean Stanfield over at rate.com/Sean Stanfield. If you're looking to buy a house or you want to know, hey, can I afford a house? Does it make sense? Because obviously you talk like that if you're thinking about it.
Of course.
Also, does it make sense to refinance for you? For some, it makes no sense whatsoever. Some, it actually makes some sense. So Sean is your guy to give you all the answers to your questions. Pretty simple. You can call or text him at 916-276-7563. 916-276-7563. I've known him for well over a decade. About 10 years ago at this time, we were talking about the Kings staying, and we were working together, and it was crazy times. He's a huge Kings fan. Maureen's known him for a long time, too. And he's helped a few of our podcast listeners with purchasing a house or refinancing. Hit him up, rate.com/Sean Stanfield. Equal housing lender, subject to credit approval. NMLS ID number 349707. Company NMLS ID number 2611. NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Thanks so much to our friends at
Guaranteed.
Great.
Guaranteed.
Great.
Also presented by this badass.
Oh, this crazy
author
lady
who writes some thrillers that, just buckle up because they're dark, they're twisted, they're based in Sacramento. You got to check out the books by T.R. Reagan.
Dude, had a Kings fan run up to me on the concourse, go, not even about me, just goes, oh my God, I'm a huge fan of your mom's books. No joke. Read them all. She's like, I read that long series. Which one was it? And I was like, Lizzie Gardner. And I was like, don't tell me what happens. I'm on book 5. It's a 6-book series. It is the best thing I've ever read. And I'm not even kidding. Yes, it took me like 15 years to read them because they're scarier than shit. And I didn't even know if I wanted to read them because so many people say you can't read these before you go to bed. They're scary. So if you're looking to read a thriller, especially with the summer coming up, make sure to go to trreagan.com or amazon.com and search TR Reagan.
It's been a while since I repeated this story. I've said that before, but it's really cool because T.R. Reagan for years tried to get her books published by the big publishers, and she got turned down left and right.
20 years.
She did not give up. She kept going. She self-published, and she hit it big on Amazon. And it's cool. Believe in yourself. Keep going. She did. And look.
Follow your dreams.
Turned into New York Times bestselling author.
Dreams.
All right, Kings next up. They come home tonight. They'll be greeted by Kings fans. It's surely going to be an emotional time for Kings fans, but Sunday's going to be emotional, too. The Kings are going to be back on the home floor for the first time since clinching a playoff spot. The last time they were Golden One Center was not good because they lost to Minnesota. Fans were all disappointed, but since then, the spot's clinched. They've got home court through the first round of the playoffs, and on Sunday, the San Antonio Spurs come to town, they were in San Francisco tonight. They lost 130-115.
Dang.
Yeah, very similar to the situation we saw in Portland the last couple of games where not a lot there. Jeremy Sochan not playing for them. They're playing a lot of guys that don't have a ton of experience. You know, Keldon Johnson still get minutes and he could be a threat, but you're on your home floor, and it's going to be special because this is the first time fans get the chance to greet this team. What do you expect on Sunday afternoon when the Kings play the Spurs with the home crowd?
Well, I expect some really good, obviously positive energy. It's a Sunday afternoon. You know, it's not at night, but I feel like that's the best way to celebrate it too, right? It's not going to be a whole bunch of drunk people in the middle of the day or at night like we've seen at Golden One Center, which is great. People are fun. But in the daytime, you get to celebrate this squad. What you really want to see, though, because sometimes those times can screw with players. And for the Kings, we talked about this earlier. They have not been able to find a way to play some really good defense on their home floor. I don't know what it is, and sometimes we think that they're relying on the energy of the arena. They can't be doing that on Sunday. They really, even if the game ends up looking like that, you got to make sure that you are setting the tone, that you are the ones that are being the physical ones out there and that are playing some good lockdown defense on your home floor.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very emotional time, and I just hope the Kings get off to a nice start for these home fans. A couple of things I looked up today. Kevin Herter was mentioning that they have to play better defense at home, and he called it like the mental relax factor.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I need to look at the numbers. It's been a while since I've looked at them. The Kings on the home floor are number 1 in defensive rating. They're 29th in defensive rating on the home floor. Okay, that matches up, right? Great
Sure.
offense, bad defense. But coming into tonight's game, on the road, they are 5th in offensive rating and 10th in defensive rating. What?
How are they that good on the road defensively? How?
So there's something, right? And even if you want to push back and be like, yeah, but dudes, they're not really 10th in defensive rating. Okay, then maybe they're not really 29th. And it goes to kind of some of the stuff that we've heard this year and what we've seen is like there are moments and stretches where they can play defense. And all right, they're pretty good with transition defense most of the year. Defensive rebounds usually pretty good for this team, but there's something not adding up on the home floor. And you'd expect with how good this team is this year that they'd be better at home. Their road record is great. We mentioned it. They're 24-14, which is tied for the second best road record in franchise history. It's elite. It's great, but they're 23-16 at home. It's not terrible, but I mean, if they had taken care of business in a few more games against shorthanded teams, then we're talking about easily a team that could be the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. So I just, with this stretch going into the playoffs, I do want to see the physicality increase. I want to see the defense improve and just get off to better starts on the home floor. You want to get that home momentum going. In addition to that, Mike Brown was on Chris Haynes's and Mark Stein's podcast. I recommend you guys listen to that. I thought it was great, 45-minute conversation. One of the things he was talking about is he is challenging his team like, hey, the playoffs, it ratchets it up. They use an example of the T-Wolves Warriors game from earlier this week that we talked about how physical that game was. And that's what playoff basketball is going to be like. He wants his team to be ready for it. He doesn't want them to be like reacting. He wants them to set the tone. And it's important for them to start setting that tone like Sunday and not game 1.
And he talked about too, if his team shows any doubt, any fear, teams in the postseason will capitalize on that, will make sure they take advantage of that. And so, just preparing his team mentally and physically is going to set them up for hopefully more success on the defensive end. But I'm just hoping that teams don't deflate them, especially if they're not making their shots because other teams have stepped up their games defensively, or you've seen what they've done against a zone, especially a matchup zone. They've had their struggles. Obviously tonight,
much better against
zone. Better. Yeah. Yes. But look at the players that they were playing in that matchup zone. And that's why just all these different scenarios, they cannot feel any doubt in themselves.
In the chat, Christopher says, bro, number 1 seed? No, I was just saying like they probably could have pushed for that. They could be in the conversation. It's, by the way, not that far back. I mean, they're 4 games back. So my whole point was to have that type of discrepancy where they're 29th in defensive rating at home versus 10th on the road is a little strange. And so it's obviously more challenging. You have to create your own energy on the road sometimes. At home, they try to rely too much. Maybe they're too relaxed. Maybe other teams are getting up. I don't know what the reason is. It's just something interesting that it's that far. That's that different. The offense doesn't drop off that much, but the defense?
Well, and that's why Zach Lowe has also talked about this team defensively. And he's like, I swear they're not as bad as their numbers. And, well, if you looked at them on the road, you'd be like, oh, I get it. They do somehow either come into these arenas playing up, playing ready. It's just truly on their home floor where that has gone down, 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 and they need to figure it out.
And one more thing I just want to wrap up with on this. This week has been one of the most fun weeks.
Aww.
It really has, just of my life, because this team has meant so much to me over the years, and to see this city reignite their Kings passion. A lot of you who consume our podcast and have consumed our podcast for years, you're into it. You're the hardcore. But there's like some new fans. There's maybe some fans that were kind of casual on the outside looking in, or there's some that were cautiously optimistic checking in. people around town are into this. The beam is a thing. More talking about her friends texting that don't even pay attention to basketball.
Yeah.
And I just, going out after that win the other night against Portland when they clinched, and going to Golden One Center and seeing so many fans outside, just to be around other fans. And you think back to when that building was built, and they talked about, like, they wanted this to be a place where people would come and hang out. And that's exactly why they built it, is for this type of moment where there was no event going on.
Mm-mm.
The event was that the Kings won a game to clinch a playoff spot, and it brought people from all over. We talked to some fans that drove up from Antigua, people driving just to get a glimpse at the beam and to be around other fans, popping champagne bottles. It was just a special night, and I'll never forget it.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you, and that I'm so glad that you felt that, and I don't think I'll ever forget this week because of it. And we've talked about how important it's been to soak in this journey and the come up, right? Because we're not going to feel this every year. I'm not going to make a bet every year about putting a tattoo on my body. Like, that's what makes this all so special, so fun. So I hope you're all really been enjoying all of this, soaking it all in, soaking in the fun, because expectations are going to change.
Yep.
Everything's going to change, but I know we'll make sure to always make sure that this podcast is just as fun, and we are enjoying the beautiful sport of basketball.
And then one last note, talking about the emotions of the Kings clinching. Well, we just wrapped up our 4th season as the broadcast team for the Stockton Kings in the NBA G League. I do play-by-play. Morgan's a color analyst. And last night, Stockton, the number 1 seed, hosted a playoff game against the Sioux Falls Skyforce. They lost by 1.98-97. It was just a battle. It was a great game.
Single elimination.
If the Kings would have won, it would have been a career highlight for me. We were doing the game on NBA TV together. Felt like we had a great broadcast. It was such an intense, it felt like a playoff game. And just huge love to the Stockton Kings. They had a great year. They were the number 1 seed. They had the best record in the G League this year. And, you know, running a G League team's not easy with all the players who go back and forth. Bobby Jackson, the head coach.
Lack of resources.
Yeah, the former Kings players, now the Stockton Kings head coach. And to see how he's evolved as a coach and how much work he put into this team. Shout out to Stockton Kings general manager Paul Johnson, who was named NBA G League Executive of the Year. Anjali Ranadive in her first year with the team.
Amazing.
You know, I know a lot of people are poking fun at, oh, I can't believe Vivek put his daughter in this situation. I will say this. She is one of the nicest people out there. And you talk to anyone around the team, what she has brought, and she just wants to learn and get better and help in any way she can. She brought a very positive vibe around the team.
She created a very much a family vibe of making us all feel very much included, from the broadcast team the way to the team. And it was just,
there's so many names
special.
to mention. And so it's cool to see, because sometimes with the G League, you know, you just see everything feels so distant, you know? And so to see kind of Mike Brown's idea come to light of, hey, we want a legit culture from everywhere.
Totally.
And I thought you felt it with the Stockton Kings this year too. So Stockton Kings, ultimately you lose a playoff game. Sucks.
Fun
Bummer.
season, though.
Fun season. And congrats to them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to miss calling games. That's what sucks. I just got the chance to call a playoff game last night. I was so excited. Oh, maybe they're going to be playing in the Western Conference Finals Sunday night. Nope, it's over. And then you're like, oh, no more play-by-play this year.
Yeah, it's our ultimate dream. So being able to obviously get those touches and to be doing it for 4 seasons, and obviously more work coming up in the NBA G League, just around the league. It's, like I said, a dream come true. And I'm just so glad that we've been having this type of week with both squads.
Kings fans, enjoy a day off. Get ready to go. Sunday's going to be emotional. Kings back home on Sunday. Tip-offs at 3. We'll be live for an early evening edition of Night Chat following Kings and Spurs. Before you go, hit the thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. You guys are literally the best. And before we go, I have to give out the dog of the game.
Who's the dog?
Who was the dog of the game? Was it Keegan Murray, De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, or Kings fans in Portland?
Okay.
The dog. The people have spoken. The dog of the game is Keegan.
Murray.
Congrats, Keegan. You're the dog. We love you guys, but we gots to go.
You all have the best night ever. Sleep beams.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know. Deuce and Mo.